Benvenuti! Welcome to Dwarf Fortress. In this video I'm going to give you a really short introduction to Dwarf Fortress and then I'm going to play through the in-game tutorial. Feel free to use the timestamps to skip around if you like. As of today, the 6th of December of 2022, Dwarf Fortress has just been released on Steam and itch.io, but it's not a new game. In fact, it's been in active development for the last 20 years. Tarn and Zach Adams, its creators, started working on the concept in 2002 and released the first playable alpha version in 2006. In 2012, Dwarf Fortress was featured, among other games, in New York's Museum of Modern Art. For all this time, Dwarf Fortress has been and will always remain a free-to-play game. The only difference between the paid from now on premium version and the free classic version is that the charming pixel art and graphics and the beautiful soundtracks are only available in the paid version, although there are ways through mods to have graphics also in the free version. I personally discovered the game around 2010, just before version 0.31 came out. I've been playing it on and off since then, but I still hesitate to call myself an expert. At its core, Dwarf Fortress is a massive procedural generator and simulator that creates an entire world with creatures, cultures, civilizations, wars, schemes, heroes, dragons, necromancers and such. As players, we interact with this incredibly complex simulation in several ways. We can just read about the world events in Legends mode, or we can play a colony building / management / survival game in Fortress mode. This is often regarded as the classic way to play Dwarf Fortress, or play a top-down open-world sandbox RPG in Adventure mode. At the time of this video, Adventure mode isn't yet available in the paid version. Dwarf Fortress isn't a perfect game. Its creators deem it to be merely 50% done at this point. Nor it is a spectacular game, like a God of War or Elden Ring. Expect some bugs, and expect a UI that, despite great efforts, can still feel a bit messy. But to quote a better person than myself, you don't play Dwarf Fortress because it's perfect. You play Dwarf Fortress because there's nothing else quite like it. That said, let us begin by clicking Create a New World. Welcome to Dwarf Fortress. Prepare to guide your stout charges to fortune in a world fraught with many perils. You'll begin by creating your world and watching the region's history unfold. Once this process is complete, you can prepare a group and send them out to seek wealth deep in the mountains. As you dig deeper and more citizens take up residence in your outpost, your doings will attract attention, both wanted and unwanted. Deal with challenges as they arise, and you might one day find that your humble settlement has grown to become a mountain home, the center of your civilization. Alright, we are presented with a screen that has parameters that influence the way the world is created. The world map size can be of different sizes. I'm now going to not touch anything because I want to show you how the game looks if you just click on the green button, if you just play the tutorial as intended. So, create world. What you're looking at right now is the world being generated. It's apparently called Ospas Maxmo, the Windy Land in Dwarven. Events from the world are being listed in here, and apparently the 100 years worth of history has passed. 10,317 historical figures have been created during these simulated years, and 55,231 events are here listed in an abridged chronicle. Many more than that actually took place in the simulation. The thing is, this is the simulation so far. This is what we will use as a base, in which basically our fortress starts right now. But as we play, the simulation continues, and that is the real strength of Dwarf Fortress. While you play, things still occur. Wars continue to happen, so settlements may appear or disappear. Anyway, all things that will be evident in due time. Let's click on play now. Select a game type to begin. In my opinion, there should be a green button in here, but let's just click on Fortress, because Fortress mode is the classic mode for us. Or at least in my opinion. Some people may disagree. Some people may think that Legends mode is actually the most pure form. But here we are. Quick start and short tutorial, yes please. Would you like your fortress located in a forested, mineral-rich region of this world where you can play through a short tutorial? Non-interactive help will be available, whatever you decide. So this is a bird's eye view of this world. If you mouse over stuff, you can see how the description there changes. However, as we start the tutorial, the game will select an ideal region for us. So let's just do that. Start tutorial. Apparently we're going in here. That's gonna be the place. Between forest and a mountain, and there's a river. And here we are. Oh look, it's some sort of canyon, I think? That's amazing. A dwarven outpost. You have arrived. After a journey from the mountain homes into the forbidding wilderness beyond, your harsh trek has finally ended. Your party of 7 is to make an outpost for the glory of all Nelasast. That's the name of our civilization, apparently. There are almost no supplies left, but with stout labor comes sustenance. Whether by bolt, plow, or hook, provide for your dwarves. You are expecting a supply caravan just before winter entombs you, but it is spring now. Enough time to delve secure lodgings, ere the coggers get hungry. A new chapter of dwarven history begins here at this place, Rakustral, Tomb Silver. That is the generated name of our fortress. If this wasn't the tutorial, we definitely would have had the opportunity to actually name our fortress, but for now we just get the very evocative Tomb Silver as the name of the fortress. Let's hope it's not gonna be just a tomb. Also, let's hope we find silver. Strike the earth. 108. Camera controls. Your view is focused on one elevation at a time. To move the camera around, press WASD or hold the middle mouse button and drag the view. So WASD, jump the camera around like so. Let us go and look what's this seam on the minimap. It looks like they are hills. So as I was suspecting, we are in a river valley. Very good. Also, which is even better in my opinion, with a middle mouse button you can achieve a smoother scroll. I actually love this. There was nothing like this in the previous version. To change the camera's elevation, press E and C or roll the mouse wheel. Hold shift to move faster. Okay, to properly visualize this, let's go somewhere where there are elevation changes. Okay, so see, this is a uphill slope. If I do mouse wheel up, now I can see the top of that hill. The area below gets a little bit grayed out. It's almost like a thin fog is in between. And these are the tree branches. So all these circles in here, these are tree trunks. Here we have the tree branches and leaves. And apparently these hills go up several levels. So mouse wheel up, and we can visualize all of this. And that's the brook down below. Mouse wheel down, we go back down. Again, mouse wheel down, we are now looking at the river bed. If I mouse wheel down more, I see absolutely nothing, because we need to dig underground to see where the riches are. Okay, back to the tutorial. When your view is in the air above other tiles, you can see them below, but you can only interact with objects in your current elevation. The view will be dark underground until you begin mining. You can move the camera to the surface with the surface button. This is the surface button. Let's try it. Let's go up in the air. Yeah, we are elevation 60. We can't see anything. Surface, and we get back to the surface. The F1 hotkey will recenter on your wagon. So specifically, if you want to get to the wagon, F1. Okay, next. Still camera control. You can zoom in and out of the play area using either the square brackets or control plus mouse wheel. And like this you can get a more bird's eye view of the map. Or you can zoom really close. Let's actually find, I think this is 1:1 pixel perfect. Okay. 208. Mining. It's time to get to work. Let's start by digging a stairwell into the ground. There may be plenty of a hillside to dig into, but you'll want to seek wealth below the surface. Mining tasks are designated on the play area. Begin by clicking the highlighted mining button. So, just a quick note. One of the big differences between Dwarf Fortress and other games is that in Dwarf Fortress you designate things to be done. You almost never have direct control of your dwarves. Even when military squads are active, you just give very generic orders like go there or attack that. But you can't take pawns one by one and say you stay here and wait. There is no such thing. Your dwarves have their own AI. So we designate digging and then somebody will do it. Okay, so it's asking us, actually it's telling us, there are several ways to mine. Stairwells, which are now selected, is this button here, stairwells, start at one elevation and are completed at the next. Click the surface, move the camera down one level and click the underground. Reversing the order also works. I'm going to do slightly more than that. You'll forgive me if I don't do exactly that, but I'll click in here on the surface. Then I'll mouse wheel down several levels, because that works too, and it's amazing. And I will click in, okay, let's say in here at elevation 30, right? You can see the grade depiction. Let me actually zoom in a little bit. This is the green depiction of stairs that are going to be mined out of the solid rock. So stairwell going up in here, then this up and down stairs, and then arriving at the surface where we have this hole in the ground and stairs that go down. Now we will unpause the game and let the miners finish the task. Press space to unpause or use the highlighted controls at the top of the screen. You should pause regularly starting out. This is actually a pro tip. Especially at the start, when you are unsure of what's happening, you want to look around in the various menu, and you still are trying to make sure that all your dwarves have something to do pause the game often. This game is very hectic. The games are really quick. Days actually breeze by without you even noticing, and very often people find that their dwarves are starving just because a lot of time has passed and they were still figuring stuff out. So definitely use the pause a lot. However, for now we are asked to unpause. So let's do that. All right, now that the game is unpaused, the dwarves are just going around and doing things as they are supposed to do by their designation. Okay, let's pause again and let's go see what's happening underground. Looks like all our staircases have been dug. No, actually, our miner is in here. Let's zoom in a little bit. And they are actively mining this tile. Let's unpause again. Now they are done. There it is. You notice that a tile is properly mined out and open, where you can see the edges of the adjacent tiles fade into the darkness. Okay, let's read the next step. Let's make a safe place to work. Select regular mining mode to the left of stair mining mode. So, mining mode, regular mining mode. Dig a rectangular underground big enough for a large stockpile and some workshops. Consider that most workshops are 3x3 squares. Mining through the stone layers further down may take longer, but it leaves boulders, which are essential building material. Later you can consider making a meeting area from the zones menu, otherwise your citizens will continue gathering by the wagon outside. So let me see if I can show you a boulder. This is a boulder. This is the result of mining through solid stone. Now, a layer right below the surface, so this layer here, should actually not be stone, or at least usually it is not stone, but some form of soil, some manner of soil. Depending on where you are, it could be different kinds of soil or even a surface stone sometimes. Okay, so in the layer just above the surface is elevation 38, so on layer 37 I will dig a small hallway and click, and then I will dig a room. For now, this will suffice. And unpause, and we'll see that our miner will promptly take up the challenge and start mining. It seems like in this area specifically we have surface stone, because I can see more boulders being left behind. Let me pause for a second. I think that is happening because we are right... Yes, that's probably it. We are at the seam between two separate biomes. And you can notice that because there's plants and trees on this side and almost, well, actually no trees and plants at all on the right side. So it's probably surface stone in here and soil in here. So let's get back downstairs. Let me see if I can demonstrate this by digging this way instead. Alright, let's wait for our miner to finish digging out all of this. Yes. See this? This is soil, and in fact, it's been much faster digging in the soil. I'm gonna take advantage of this, and I'm gonna mine another area. Okay. While that is going on, let's continue looking at our tutorial. 3 of 8 stockpiles. The supplies on the wagon are in danger of being carried off by wild creatures. It's time to build a stockpile underground to unload them. Stockpiles are crucial to moving supplies around your fortress where they are needed. Stockpiles are placed with the stockpile button. Now highlighted, click it now. This is the stockpile button, or also accessed with the hotkey P. Okay. Click the add button and click two corners of a rectangle somewhere safe to place your pile. Stockpiles can be placed both on the surface and underground. Once the pile is placed, click accept and select the all option. So let's click on add. Then we need to select the two corners. let's have a stockpile right here. Okay, it says click accept and then select all. So we definitely need to accept in here. Now, this is the settings for our stockpile. You can definitely configure multiple stockpiles that only accept specific types of items. And these are just generic categories. You can actually go very, very specific. For now, they ask us to make an all stockpile to accept everything. And as you can see, being that the game is unpaused, the dwarves are just streaming in and bringing all manners of goods in the stockpile. If unpaused, your workers should start unloading the wagon into the stockpile. Later, you may want to customize your stockpiles by clicking on them and pressing the custom button to forbid certain categories, like refuse, for example. A separate refuse stockpile is a good idea to keep your fortress clean. If the stockpile menu is still open, you can close it now by right-clicking. Right-clicking can always be used to close most menus as well as escape. 4 of 8. Woodcutting. With shelter ready underground, it's time to build. First, you need building materials, like wood or boulders. Before you start chopping down trees, you may want to create a dedicated wood stockpile. Holders will also drop wood in your old stockpile, unless you turn it off in the custom stockpile menu. When you are ready, open the woodcutting menu and designate the trunk of a tree on the surface. Make sure your woodcutter can walk to the designated location. Alright, so let's scroll up to get to the surface. And now we open the woodcutting menu. This is tree chopping. Currently, the way we would do it is by clicking on a corner and then on another corner and select all the trees in that area. We can also switch to this and do the paint mode. With paint mode, you can just say, I want this and this and this. Okay, while they start selecting trees to chop, actually, they choose one of the trees that I selected to be chopped, we can create another stockpile. Click on add. I'm gonna make a stockpile for wood in here. Accept and wood. There you go. So the trees are being chopped and the dwarves are moving the logs. Okay. 5 of 8. Building. Now that you have the building materials, it's time to start building. Workshops are one of the many buildings you can place with the highlighted build button. Click it now. This is the build button. Most workshops require building material such as wood or boulders. If you have some wood stockpiled, you'll be able to place a carpenter's workshop. Click Workshops, Carpenter, and place the shop in an empty area on the surface or underground. I think for now I will place a workshop, carpenter, I think right next to the wood. I think that's a good idea. Okay, select materials for the carpenter's workshop. Amount needed 1. I can select any of these categories, or I can even expand the category and select a specific shale boulder, for example. I think I will use a walnut log, of which we have 69, which is really nice, because they are distance 1, they are right here, so walnut log it is. When unpaused, a worker should now build the workshop. Once the worker is done, click on the building to select it. Let's pause actually, since they already built the workshop. Click on it. Your industrious citizens will perform any task added to the workshop. Most objects that are placed, like doors and furniture, must first be built in a workshop. Furniture created at the carpenter's workshop usually takes 1 wood to build. Add a task and make a bed. Chop down more trees if necessary. Unpause and wait for the bed to be completed. Okay, we are currently in the carpenter's workshop. Tasks, add a new task. In here you can either scroll to see all the different things that you can make with wood at the carpenter's workshop, some menus open other menus. In here says make display case requires a window, so it immediately tells you cannot do one of this because you don't have a window to make a display case. You can also search. You can search for bed and click on make bed. While I'm here, since I know that I will probably need in the future more than one, you just do add task and make bed multiple times. For now, 3 I think will be enough. In the future, we'll see more advanced ways to request the creation of multiple items though. So let's unpause and wait for a carpenter. Here you can see the carpenter has already taken a walnut wooden log. The game is unpaused, so they are working. Now the walnut wooden log is not there anymore, but there is a walnut wood bed. Now that you have a bed, you can place it in your fortress. Use the build menu to place it in a room underground, just like the workshop. Dig a new room first if you like. Beds are found in the furniture category. Unlike workshops, bed must be placed underground. So let's close this with right click. Let's scroll wheel down underground. And to place beds, I would like to get a little bit deeper. So let's go, this is 37. Yeah, let's go to elevation 30. Let's mine a little hallway. And let's for now just create one room. Oh, wait, I switched from rectangle to draw. So let's switch back to rectangle. Okay. Let's unpause. This room can later be designated as a dormitory. You can either make, personal bedrooms or a dormitory. Usually at the start I do dormitory because it's easier to manage. But you can definitely do either way. Okay, as soon as there's enough space in this room, we can access the building menu, go to furniture and select the bed and place the first one smack there in the middle. You can definitely see how we now have walnut beds, actually just one, and also sand pier beds. Let's place the walnut bed in here. There it is. With a bed placed, your workers will have somewhere to sleep. Later, you can create a room with a door and use the zones menu to assign an official bedroom for each resident. Actually, before we continue, let me do this. Furniture, bed, since we have more. So there's another. And there's the third. Let's click on OK. 6 of 8 information sheets. The rest of the interface is now enabled. You can click on creatures and items, just like you can click on buildings to get more information about them. Click on a resident to see their needs, inventory, thoughts, relations, and more. You can also access information from the citizens button. Okay, let's first of all click, for example, on a bed. And we can see that this is a bed building made with a sand pier wood bed. We can click on the magnifying glass icon to get more information about that specific item. This is a well-crafted sand pier wood bed. Let's say opposed to this one in the middle, and if we look specifically at the furniture item that was used, this is an exceptional walnut wood bed. These symbols actually are actually an indication of the specific quality of that item. Let's try clicking on something else, like one of these boulders, for example. This is microcline. Microcline is a type of rock, which is also very near and dear the heart of many players of Dwarf Fortress because of this charming blue color. Another one. Siltstone, shale, and many stones have different properties, different colors. For example, Some are safe to use in magma and some are not. Let's scroll up and let's go look at something else. These are rough red tourmalines, a type of gem. What is this? Hematite. This is hematite. Uses ore of iron. You can also make furniture with it or building. However, I would suggest you don't make furniture with an ore of iron. Iron is better smelted. Even better, made into steel and then into weapons. Anyway, I am going ahead of myself. Let's click on something else in here. For example, what is this? A copper short sword. This is a copper short sword. But, okay, this barrel. This is a dwarven beer barrel made of apricot wood. And it contains 5 stacks of dwarven beer. Let's take a look at our miner. This is Etur book splashes. In Dwarven, Etur Thikutrulush, the miner. His current activity is store item in bag. This dwarf is 66 years old. These are his values. He values martial prowess, values power, but also sacrifice. He's polite. He values tranquility. He has low stamina. He's currently healthy. He has no official position, so he's not noble or wasn't assigned to any specific office. Right now, the thing that he's doing is hauling a plump helmet spawn. Plump helmet spawn is a seedling for a type of mushroom that the dwarves love to both eat and also make into beer. He's not assigned to any military squad. He's a talented miner and also a skilled appraiser. In here, we can see a recap of unmet needs. I have a pro tip for you right here. Periodically check your dwarves for unmet needs. That is your most important guide into what to do next. Unmet need, acquire an object. Unmet need, admire art. So definitely creating statues or even just really good furniture can satisfy this admire art need. Craft an object. A lot of dwarves are really fond of actually crafting something with their hands, so it might be a good idea from time to time to change things around. And for example, a dwarf that has always just been a miner, you can switch it around and assign them instead to do something more artistic. Unmet need, be with family. Unfortunately, this guy might have a family somewhere else. Martial training, this guy values martial prowess, so it definitely makes sense that they would want to get in the military. And also unmet need, pray to Osod. We will definitely get in the future on how to create shrines and temple to give our dwarves access to that. Right now though, he seems to be pretty happy because his motto is, "We will be successful." In here you can see a recap of all the thoughts he recently had. If you played other games with this system, this is also often referred as moodlets, so specific events that affect the mood of this person. So he felt fondness talking with a friend, so definitely spending time in contact with other dwarves has a good impact on mood. He felt satisfied at work. Dwarves love to work. He was annoyed when caught in the rain. They don't like being outside when it rains. He felt satisfied at work. Euphoric due to inebriation. Dwarves require alcohol. He was annoyed after having a drink without using a goblet, cup or mug. See, this immediately indicates that we gotta make some cups or mugs. He felt satisfied remembering work. This is very interesting. Dwarves have memory. If something either good or even bad happened to them, that event might continue to affect them for a long time. It's really fun how they, for example, at the very start of the fortress, they felt really satisfied for all the work that they did. They also felt satisfied upon improving their skill in mining, and then even when doing nothing, they were just remembering mining, and that was very satisfying. Oh, dwarves. We can also see what items they are either carrying or that are in their possession. So they have a copper pick equipped in their right hand. They are currently hauling several plump helmet spawn, and they have pigtail socks and cave spider silk shoes, pigtail gloves, cave spider silk shirt, and a pigtail pair of trousers. Really good. Health, no health problems. Now the description is under the health tab. A short, sturdy creature fond of drink and industry. He's quick to heal, but he is very quick to tire. His very long beard is braided. His very long sideburns are neatly combed. His very long mustache is arranged in double braids. His hair is clean-shaven. His somewhat short, broad ears are very splayed out. His cobalt eyes are sunken. He has a broad chin. His hair is dark brown. His skin is pink. And now, most of these traits are represented in the sprites. Probably not all the combinations can be clearly represented, but you can definitely see long beard, long mustaches, and bald head, dark brown. It's him. Amazing. We can take a look at his skills. On the labor category, talented miner, skilled appraiser. In combat, no specific skill. Socially, adequate speaker, novice judge of intent, dabbling negotiator, conversationalist, comedian, consoler, pacifier. Other skills, adequate poet, dancer, and singer, and a novice musician. When it comes to knowledge, they have knowledge of several poetic forms, several musical forms and dances, and also specific poems and a choreography. Oh my god, I love it! All these names are procedurally generated, and they were actually generated as part of the generation of the entire world. He knows the choreography known as the Consular and nothing more. That is incredible. And also the poem, It Must Have Been Valleys. Okay, sorry. I need to keep going, I know. We can see personality. We can see thoughts, military groups, relations. Osod is their deity. Our expedition leader is a close friend. Our mason is a friend. The stonecrafter is a close friend. Unfortunately, they don't have any family in the fortress. In this expedition, they were the only member of their family that came. So this dwarf might unfortunately be a little bit sad sometime because they don't get to be with their family unless the family joins the fortress later on, because that can totally happen. Alright, enough of this. Let's continue. 7 of 8. Alerts. Important and sometimes urgent information is given as alerts on the left side of the screen. There have been several already. Hover over an alert icon to see the information, left click on an alert for recentering options, and right click to dismiss an alert. So this is an alert. It says left click for recenter and expand options, right click to dismiss. This is an example urgent alert. These are very important, ignore them at your peril. So if I click with left click, I get more info, right click, I dismiss. Let's look at the other ones. So these kind of alerts come up while you mine to give you a notification of all the various different things that you find. So while mining, we have struck bituminous coal. Very nice bituminous coal can be used to make fuel for furnaces, lignite, cinnabar, pink tourmaline, which is a type of gem, hematite, which is an ore of iron, red tourmaline, and other type of gem, and microcline, which is a type of stone, blue stone. And we can dismiss this. This instead is... Oh, there is nothing to catch in the central swamps. This is a message coming from our fisher dwarf that said, I fished everything. There is nothing else to catch. Dismiss. The weather has cleared. This is an example urgent alert. These are very important, ignore them. Okay, this was just an example. Okay, all alerts have been cleared. Let's proceed. 8 of 8, preparing for the caravan. You may need supplies before the coming of winter. To trade with the autumn caravan, you must build a trade depot from the build menu. You need something of value to trade. Crafts are an easy way to make a lot of trade goods quickly. Make the appropriate workshops with workshops crafts. An obvious material to use to make the crafts is rock. If you dig down enough layers, you will find a near infinite amount of boulders of various kinds, as well as some rough gems if you are lucky. Gems can be cut at the jeweler's workshop and crust them on crafts and other items to add even more value. This is just the beginning. There's a lot more to learn. As you enter new menus, there will be information and tips. The help button at the top of the screen contains more guides. Click it now and this tutorial will be concluded. Okay, so in the next episodes, I intend on going through these help items and we will try and follow them, and that will be our mini tutorial series. The game is open-ended and you can do whatever you choose. If you'd like a goal, try to become a barony and then a mountain home. More likely, your dwarves will starve unless you read the first few guides here. And remember, losing is fun. Yep, that's definitely something that can happen. And yes, this game is very open-ended. One, let's say very classic objective is to grow the fortress, grow your wealth, grow your reputation. Eventually, nobles are going to show up, which is another challenge because they have needs. And then at some point the king will show up. And if you have the king, you are the mountain home of your civilization, and that is kind of a win. But then at that point is, how long can you survive? And you can definitely make your own goal. You can say, I want to make a fortress that has the best tavern in the world, and I want to attract travelers from all over the place. Or you can make the biggest library in the world. Or you can dig down as much as possible to go and find fun things. Anyway, the last thing that happened in the tutorial was, hey, go there and build a crafts workshop. So let's go to crafts. Let's make it in here. Let's make this out of... And let's actually bring up some microcline, because it's going to be blue and it's going to be fabulous. And then let's also make another workshop. Let's make the jewelers in here. Unfortunately, we only have one blue boulder. Let's make this out of shale. Then, at the top in here, let me zoom out a little bit. Let's make a trade depot in preparation for the trade caravan to show up. So build trade depot. The trade depot is quite big. Oh, look at that. There's a bunch of fish. That dwarf wasn't kidding when they said there's nothing else to catch. They got all the fish out of the water in there. Okay, let's put this in here. Select materials. Amount needed 3. A trade depot requires 3 different items. Let's make this out of persimmon wood logs. Now you can definitely choose different materials. It doesn't have to be all the same, but the color, as I understand, will be picked by from the first item that you select. Well, let's make it from 3 persimmon wood logs. Okay, let's unpause. Dwarves are now going to carry logs in there. I think this is our carpenter. No, this is our mason. Ah, it's the same. Okay, this is our trade depot. We will not use it right now. Oh, and look at this. It's so charming that right now all your buildings change in color and appearance based on what material you used. So this Crafts Dwarf's workshop was made of microcline stone, which is bluish, and thus it is blue. I want in here, before I end with this first tutorial episode, show you what I mean by look at your dwarves to know what you should do next. So for example, let's click on this guy, and we find again that he was probably annoyed. Oh, he's annoyed at the lack of chairs, but also annoyed after having a drink without using a goblet, cup, or mug. So, what can we do for crafts? Okay, let's open the rock menu. And in here, we should see make rock mug. There it is. Let's try and make several of these. And I think each one of these orders can make up to 3 separate mugs. Then let's close this. I'm still paused. I will open the jeweler's workshop and I'll add a new task to cut gems, and I will put this one on repeat. All the gems are gonna be cut. Let's close this and unpause. Okay, our miner is apparently also our gem cutter. In here you can see that there's a rough red tourmalines in there, and now they have been cut into an emerald cut. Now more rough red tourmalines in there. The dwarves will just choose a type of gem cut randomly, by the way. Round brilliant cut red tourmalines. Let's take a look at our crafts workshop. Oh, fantastic. We have shale mugs. This one, for example, is a superior quality shale mug. Alright, the end of the basic tutorial marks the end of the first episode. However, if you like this, if you want to see more of this, stay tuned, because I'm definitely going to work through the other items in here in our information and guides section. If you like this, please leave a like. If you didn't, please leave a comment and tell me why. Anyway, thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you again in the next episode. Alla prossima!